Boom. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live Streaming Done Better. We are live. Today is Tuesday, February 6, 2024, and we are talking about doing hard things. And really not about what you're going to do, but about preparing to do it, setting yourself up for success when you are trying to set out on your endeavor to try something different. And if it's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly, as somebody famous, Les Brown, used to say. If it's worth doing poorly because it's probably hard. Anything that's new is hard. And so today we're going to talk about some tips and some things that I found, things that I picked up along the way that make it more probable to succeed at what you're doing that's hard. And it really transcends what you're doing. So I've reinvented myself about 2.5 years ago, 30 years in the fiber optic construction business. And now I own a recording studio. I'm a professional speaker. I have masterminds on teaching people how to speak for a living and get on stage, get paid to speak on stage. And I created a platform for people who need coaching to meet world-class coaches without spending a lot of money, saving a lot of time, and solving two huge problems. It's helping coaches get seen for very little money and helping people see and find coaches for free. So this stuff is hard. It's really hard. There's no revenue. I'm bootstrapping this thing myself. I'm pushing the rocks up hills. I've made any profit. I used to get paid every single week and paid well for a number of years. And I haven't got a paycheck for 6 months now, 8 months now. So it is hard. But today I'm going to share my tried and true secrets to how I prepare to make hard things less hard. That's really the trick to life, right? Make hard that life is hard. Make it less hard. All right. There's a saying I heard just the other day, and it was profound for me because I'm going through something personal that I haven't shared with you guys yet. Not a big deal. I'm not asking like prayers or energy, anything like that. Just something that's happened in my family that I'm dealing with and trying to. It's more of a control thing than anything else. But one of the things that I heard the other day that was, again, profound was if you're going to be known for something positive. There's so much bad in the world. So social media is so easy to become known for something bad. That's the only thing you see. The news doesn't run anything good. If it bleeds, it leads. They're not going to share good stuff with you. So you can't look to that. And you look on social media, how much of it's real? Very little of it. So what do people try to do to differentiate themselves? They try to do outrageous things to try to be seen, go viral. And it usually is something stupid or bad. Try to be known for something good. And whoever knows you is who you're impacting. It might be one person, it might be 10 million people, but be known for something good, right? So today we're going to talk about how to do hard things, how to prepare to do hard things, and how that ties into be known for something good. It's hard to always do the right thing. It's hard to know what the right thing is sometimes. So again, it transcends, I'm going to try to lose weight. That's hard, right? Losing weight's easy. Keeping weight off is hard. Trying to reinvent yourself, starting a new career, leaving a company and starting your own business. That's very hard, but there's ways to make it easier anyway, less hard. Going through a breakup in a relationship, and ending a marriage, starting a new relationship, hard things. We can make them less hard. So here are some of the things, and we're going to go through today about 10 or 11 things that they're not in order, and you can use some of them or all of them, or you can use more of them. And I'd love to see your comments as we're talking about this, things that you've done to make hard things less hard. And if I don't touch on what you do to make hard things less hard, then please put that in a comment. I'd love to hear what you do, what works for you, because we're all different, and we all need each other to learn and grow. So let's get on with it. Like I say, without further ado, number one, chunk it up. Make things as easy as possible by chunking them up. Start with something large and then making it easier by making them smaller. If I want to lose 80 pounds, Well, that's hard. But what if I want to lose 2 pounds by the end of next week? Right? That might be easier. So dividing the task into smaller, manageable steps, it makes the overall goal seem less daunting and allows you to focus on one step at a time. So chunk it up. That's the first thing that I do when I find myself facing something hard is and it's a mountain. Let's make it a molehill. First off, the first step, the journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first step. That first step is a chunk. What is the first thing that you should do? Okay. Number two, let's see. Remember I told you guys I'm still looking for that producer who wants to come in here once a week or a couple times a week and work for an hour for nothing but learn. Anyway, number two is start with the end in mind. Really, this comes down to setting the goals. This is one I learned, and I'm going to talk a lot about the stuff I've done and learned from on Tony Robbins and stuff like that. But this is a big one. I mean, starting with the end in mind is kind of akin to setting the goal, setting the clear goal, setting the expectation. What is it? I have a goal in mind, right? Again, if you go back to leaving my company to start a new business, having that, knowing how much money you need to earn as profit off the business is really something that you need to know. So starting with the end in mind, you'd have to then work backwards, reverse engineer everything from that. What are your overhead? What's your expenses? What are the liabilities? What's the cost of opening the business? All of these things. How long would it take to hit that number that you need to support your family? These are things that, starting with the end in mind, it makes it easy then to chunk them up. As you start with the end, that's your goal. So setting the clear goal. And then now you can work backwards and do tiny steps backwards, reverse engineering your way to success. So that might be a good show one day. Reverse engineer your way to success. Take a note, producer. You got it. I got you down. All right. Now, next one. We're going to fly through these because they're not revolutionary. These are things that you probably heard of, but we're just trying to put them in one place where you can come to and check and say, yep, that makes sense. Let's go with visualize success. Visualizing success. Now, when we talk about starting with the end in mind, we need to understand that, what does that look like? So when we say visualize success, one of the things that we talk about in business and being successful in business is not selling the product or services, but selling the result. And that all comes from visualizing the success, understanding what the result's going to be. What is it going to be monetarily? What is it going to mean to your family? What is it going to feel like? What is it going to free you up to doing? Who are you going to be able to help? How many people are going to be responsible and be able to celebrate with you when you finally make this goal and you finally hit this, what you started off trying to hit? Having that clear vision of what it's going to feel like when you achieve this goal. People don't remember what you do or what you say or what you did for them. They remember how you made them feel, right? Maya Angelou. So you could do the same thing. Remember that feeling. We're as human beings, most of us have a mind's eye. Some of us don't, I found out watching YouTube. Some people don't have a mind's eye, which is kind of really weird. But in your mind's eye, you can actually feel, right? You can create these emotions and you can actually feel these things about what it's going to be like on that day, on that evening, on that week, that year. So when you do this, you'll be able to access this over and over again when you're going through hard times. So visualizing success is really important. That leads us to our next hack, our next step in preparing to do hard things. And I call it finding your drive. Finding your why creates motivation. So why? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to start a business? Why do I want to lose weight? Well, why do I want to lose weight? I want to be more healthy. That's not a why. You're going to have to, that's maybe the first why. I want to be more healthy. Then you're going to have to go down 5 more whys, 5 layers deep in order to hit some drive foundation. When you start hitting drive fuel, you won't need motivation, but you got to be crystal clear on your why. So I want to lose weight. Why? Because I need to be more healthy. Why? Well, my clothes aren't fitting. All right. That's so superficial. I'm uncomfortable. Now, when you do lose the weight and you buy new clothes, one of the little hacks to stay with that new weight is don't buy new clothes when you start gaining weight. I'm going to give that one to the Brotherhood, Joel Gondara, who gave me that tip when we talked, just as a group in the Brotherhood, is when you lose weight, you go out buy new clothes. That's really a fun thing to do. So visualizing yourself buying a new wardrobe, seeing what those clothes are going to look like on yourself. That's a vision. And then you hit the goal. Now you've got this day at Macy's or wherever the hell you shop at Bass Pro, wherever you shop, and you're buying these clothes and you're putting them on. You can't believe you're a 44 and now you're 32, right? Then you leave and you go home, and 3 weeks later, those 32s, woo, they might not be fitting too well, right? You're falling into some old patterns. You maybe went through a holiday or went through a celebration, went on vacation, and now those 32s are getting tight again. Well, don't go buy 34s, right? When you hit 42s or 44s and you drop all the way to 32, that was your hit. That was your number. Well, this is your new number. So find your why. I want to lose weight because I want to be healthy. I want to, my clothes are too tight. How about I want to be here for my kids? Maybe you don't have kids yet and you're already out of shape. Maybe you've got kids and they're toddlers and you want to be coaching them as peewee footballers. Maybe they're in middle school and you want to be able to keep up with them when they start, become teenagers, and they'll be able to outrun you. Probably, a lot of them can outrun you real soon. My kids, I remember that's the day my cape fell off when we were at a Miami Hurricanes tailgating party, and my kids wanted to race, and we raced down the parking lot there in the University of Miami. Or well, I was at the big stadium there in Miami for the U of M game, and they beat me. Both of these bastards beat me, and they were like, wow, we just beat dad in the race. And I remember clearly that's the day I felt like my cape fell off, like I wasn't Superman anymore. So again, but I could do it. I was healthy enough, or I was in a foot race with my kids. They beat me. Good. I was keeping up with them. All right. So that might be what it is. Maybe you want to retire. Wouldn't that be nice? Look how hard you work at life, man. Life is so freaking hard. Why make it harder on yourself by being overweight? Let's make it a little easier by living life better, by being more in shape, by being able to enjoy life. I work hard all day. I go home. I got no energy. Why? Because I'm out of shape. Really, that's why. If you were in shape, you'd have more energy when you go home to spend quality time with your family. You just spent 10, 12, 14 hours with your company because that's what it takes, right? Forget about the 9 to 5. When you're a company guy, you're a 5 to 9 guy. But at 9:30, when you're home, you want to have something left in the tank, right? Working out, living healthy. That's a big why. Maybe after 40 years of this, when you retire, you want to have 30 years left to enjoy your time, right? Now you're talking about drive. Now it's not motivation. Your why is so deep. It's like, I got 30 freaking years to spend with my wife at my dream house on the beach where we don't have to do anything all day except for live and give like nobody else, as Dave Ramsey says. Live and give like nobody else. I want that to be the longest part of my life, not the shortest part of my life. When I can finally retire because I've done everything right by so many people and now I'm dead. Look at Toby Keith. Toby Keith is like 62 and dead, right? He just died last night of stomach cancer. None of us know when our time is. So imagine if your why, right? If your why is, oh, I want to lose weight because I want my clothes to fit, that's not going to last you. But my why is I want to be healthy enough to live for 30, 40 years after I retire so I can actually enjoy my life, not like Toby Keith, who did so much for so many people and now, bam, gone, right? Now, I'm not saying he could help it. I'm not saying Toby Keith got cancer because he lived unhealthy. I'm not saying that at all, but you just don't know. And I'll tell you what, being unhealthy, you're more likely to get cancer than if you live healthy. More likely, not unlikely, but more likely. So don't take it the wrong way. My heart, goes out to the family and everything. But man, that's why. That's my drive. My drive is, I used to be 280 pounds. I got down to 218 in December. I'm all the way back up to 230 now. I'm a yo-yo, but I'll never be back up to 280, 290 again. That ain't happening. So moving on to something more enjoyable than death for motivation, right? So let's get on to the next one. And that is, speaking of moving on to something more positive, how about staying positive? Stay positive. It's hard to do hard things. And when you're hard on yourself, like some of us are, some of us are so hard on ourselves that you got to remind yourself, let's stay positive. These mistakes that we're making are lessons. These pitfalls that we're falling into are opportunities to get better. Taking these wrong turns are just the means to meet the people that we need in our life to get back on the right track. Okay, so staying positive when we're hitting all of these hard times is key to the stick with itness that we need to get through to make hard things less hard. And when things are becoming less hard, they become enjoyable. When they become enjoyable, they become habits. When they become habits, they become second nature. So being positive about these things that are going to happen, not if they happen, but when they happen, because if they don't happen, guess what? It wasn't hard enough. All right. If you're getting through some of your hard things and it's a breeze, you're hard. You ain't your bar is too low. All right. Raise that bar because you've got some tools that I'm giving you right now to stay to get through and over those higher bars. Okay. So staying positive, very important to making it, getting back and jumping again and missing, getting back and jumping again and missing it and hitting that wall over and over. Staying positive, really a big deal on how to make it to the next level. All right, moving on. Eliminate distractions. And this one was one of my biggest, hardest hurdles to overcome. I am a professional, hardcore squirrel chaser. You can't chase 5 squirrels and catch any of them. If you're going to be chasing a squirrel and you're chasing 5, you'll never catch one. And that's what I used to do. I'm always the big, better deal guy. Look, there's a bigger, better deal. There's a better opportunity here. I put all my eggs in this basket. Now here comes a new egg. Look at that over there. It's not even an egg. It's something totally different. I'm going to go after that now because, this was good. Yeah, I saw the value in this. But that's because I didn't see this yet. These are tests. You're going to be tested every time you decide on a path. You are going to be tested with something that's shinier, that's better, that's bigger, that's easier. Don't fall for it. Stick with it. A natural conclusion sometimes is failure. And you don't want to jump ship too early before you've reached that natural conclusion of success or failure. And that was one of my biggest hindrances was I just kept always chasing like red herrings, false paths, dead ends. I jump off what I knew I was here to do because I was talked into it. I wasn't getting the results I wanted. I knew I just didn't like it a whole lot. You're not going to like it until you start getting better at it. So eliminate those distractions if at all possible. And those distractions could be looking at new opportunities, answering the wrong emails, taking meetings with the wrong people, hanging out with the wrong people for sure. Distractions, going out at night instead of getting rest, listening to people who say you can't do it. Get these people out of your lives. I don't care if they have your same last name. You don't have to divorce them, but you got to separate yourself from listening to them. In one ear, out of the other. If you've grown up with your family, brother, sister, cousins, spouse, sometimes parents. These are the people that are a lot of times in our lives who are our biggest hindrance. I'm not saying that firsthand. I'm just telling I know how it is in life. There's a lot of people out there who are exposed to this. You got to get stronger at not listening to that. All right. They're not looking out for your best interest. They're trying to drag you down. It's that whole crab thing. The crab, the one that's getting out, and the other crabs are going to reach up that bucket and drag them down. Right. You're not helping them lift out. They're dragging you down. They're purposely pulling on you. They're not helping you pull yourself up. They are pulling you down. All right. So if the distractions, these video games, you go home, what else can you learn? What can you apply to the time you have in your day to get better instead of playing these stupid ass video games that all these people play? I just never been a video game person, so it's easy for me to say. But my Lord, how much time are we wasting in our lives playing these video games when we could be just helping somebody else get better, helping ourselves get better? There's a time and a place for everything. There's a place to blow steam off, but if you ain't where you want to be, that ain't the time or place, my friend. Okay. Um, let's move on to the next one. And that is giving yourself a break. It kind of goes with staying positive, but how it's a little bit different in my estimation is you can still be positive and not let yourself off the hook. So I'm very disciplined. I've got on certain things. I'm very, very, very principled. I have a lot of integrity. I've got a lot of principle. And sometimes that it hurts me. So yeah, it's positive. It's my standard is the standard, period. But without being flexible or without letting yourself off the hook, excuse me, um, you know, you're going to make mistakes. It's to be expected. Lean on that positivity, look for the reason behind it, and forgive yourself. Let some people in your lives off the hook. The people that are in your family that I remember pulling you down like those crabs. Give them the benefit of the doubt of giving them a break. Tell them what you need. Tell them how it's hurting you. Explain to them, right, that this is not going to be tolerated, and give them a break. Only so many breaks, of course, just like yourself. You give yourself a break when you backslide. If I was trying to lose weight and I had a bad day, don't let a bad hour turn into a bad day. Okay? Just because in the morning I mess up with my McDonald's and I eat some McDonald's and have a big old mocha frappe doesn't mean that for lunch I'm going to have Arby's, and on the way home I'm going to grab some Burger King before I get home to tell my wife that, I didn't eat today. I lie to her yourself, right? You can slip up, but give yourself a break. And don't make a bad hour a bad day. All right. So there's that one. The next one is, let's go with be flexible. It kind of all rolls into one thing to another. Giving yourself a break could mean I didn't hit a certain target. I might have missed a deadline. Well, is there any flexibility? Are you being that hard on your goal that if your timeline's coming up that you shouldn't go, listen, I can see, I got some KPIs, some key point indicators that say we're not going to meet this benchmark that we've set for ourselves. So let's be flexible and let's push that date out now into a realistic time where we can hit it based on the past, based on what we've kind of gone through this last couple days, couple weeks, whatever that goal and that benchmark is. Be flexible. You're not going to be perfect every time. So without that flexibility of giving yourself some room to make mistakes, it's going to be hard to stay positive. Okay. It's going to be hard to keep giving yourself that break if you got unrealistic goals. So make sure that you have some wiggle room, as Scott Lesnar would do, some wiggle room built in to your plan. Right. And finally, coming down, big drum roll, we got live healthy. When you are trying to do hard things, the last piece of advice that I will give you is that it's much, much easier to do hard things when you are living your life healthy. When you cut out the alcohol, when you cut out sugar, when you cut out not sleeping, and trust me, that don't write on hey, you sleep 90 minutes at a time. Well, not anymore. I'm trying my best to sleep more because I'm in the middle of something really, really, really hard. For 10 years, I was on autopilot. Yeah, I slept about 3 hours a night. But now, the last couple of months, I'm trying something so hard. I don't need that extra stress. I'm trying. I've got help. I've asked friends like Ari. Shafir has helped me with some breathing stuff. I went to the doctor and got some insomnia medications. I'm sleeping better now. Am I sleeping 8 hours? No. But I'm sleeping better because I want to take that one arrow out of the freaking back, bam, that's going to hold me back from being successful and not sleeping enough. So I quit drinking back a year ago and 2 months, a year and 2 months now. I stopped. I'm sleeping better. I did my best to cut out most sugars. I still eat sugar because that one's really, really hard for me. But again, from 280 to 220 and then bouncing back and forth from 220 to 230, I've been able to keep my stress at a doable level, living healthy, not going out watching a band until 2 a.m. Maybe I go watch a band and go home after the first set, right? Just because I'm boring don't mean I'm dead. It's okay to be boring. You can still go out and have a little fun. You don't want to be causing death to your goals, and you don't want to be dead, right? There is a happy medium. Be flexible, right? Go out there, go out to dinner with friends, have a glass of wine or two if that's okay, if that's the difference in your life. For me, my wife might buy some ice cream and I might not try to eat it till the weekend. I said try to eat it till the weekend. But these are the battles that I fight. What are the battles that you fight, right? I just went through a bunch of things, and we're going to recap them right now. Number one, chunk it up. Take the big things, make it small. Number two, start with the end in mind, right? Is that goal very clear? Speaking of very clear, have you visualized it? Number three, have you visualized the success? How it's going to feel when you accomplish these goals? Even, friends, we're not talking about the whole goal. Visualize the success from the chunks, right? There's a lot of success, a lot of visualization you can make along the way. Number four, find your why. Go 5 whys deep, and that motivation will turn into drive. 5 for drive. 5 for drive. Stay positive. I think that's number 5. Stay positive. Number 6, eliminate distractions. Number 7, give yourself a break. Number 8, be flexible. Well, I'm way off because I had 11. And the last one is live healthily. Live healthily. Either way, you want to live that way. So do me a favor and in the chat, if you will, put down there the things that I've missed that make it easier for you to make hard things less hard. Today is all about being prepared to do hard things. And I want to thank you for watching. Join coachingdonebetter.com. It's a free app. It's a web app, coachingdonebetter.com. Bam. Go on there, look for the world-class coaches that we have on there, chat with them, see if they're for you. If you're a coach, put in Done Better 180. Done Better 180. That's 6 months worth of free platform time for you. You don't pay a dime for 6 months when you put in this code Done Better 180. Give it a try. Totally cancelable when you think it's not working for you, but I guarantee you, you work it, it'll work for you. I'm driving traffic to this site every single week. We're getting people who want to get better in their mind, in their body, in their business, and that's the place to go. So we'll see you on Thursday. No show tomorrow. I'm actually at a client's house doing a studio build for somebody. So let's get it on. Let's get better, improving every day. Adios.